Welcome back! My name is Baller Scuba. This is Video Games Over Time. We are still in 1984. Today, we're going to talk about Hypersports. The story of Hypersports takes us back to Konami. We have talked about Konami several times before. They were responsible for Frogger, Scramble, and Super Cobra. We last talked about Konami in our video on Track and Field. Hypersports is the sequel to Track and Field. Much like Track and Field, Hypersports is a sports game. In the game, the player plays in 7 new Summer Olympic events. The first event is a swimming event. In particular, the player competes in a freestyle sprint swimming race. Simply put, swimmers can swim however they choose and must reach the end as quickly as possible. In the game, the player uses the 2 run buttons to swim and, when prompted, will use the action button to breathe. The second event is skeet shooting. In the event, machines will throw clay pigeons in rapid succession, and the athlete must shoot as many of them as they can before the targets hit the ground. In the game, the player can shoot the targets by pressing the left and right run buttons when a target is in the proper area. The third event is Long Horse. This is also sometimes called a vault. It is part of the gymnastics set of events. The athlete runs towards the horse, jumps, pushes off the horse, then performs an acrobatic trick before landing on their feet. Judges will then award points based on the performance. In the game, the player uses the run buttons to approach the horse, uses the action button to jump, and then uses the run buttons to rotate as many times as possible, although they must land on their feet. The fourth event is archery. In the event, the athlete will attempt to fire an arrow using a bow at a set of targets. The athlete is awarded points based on how many targets they hit and how accurate they are. In the game, the player uses the action button to determine the angle and shoot the arrow. The fifth event is the triple jump. This is a track and field event. The player will run, then attempt to get as far as possible on 3 different jumps, using the same area as the long jump. In the game, the player uses the run button to gain speed, then uses the action button to jump and determine the angle of the jump. The sixth event is weightlifting. In the event, the athlete must lift a bar with heavy weights attached to it over their head with straight arms and keep the weight under control. Judges must rule that the effort is a good lift before the athlete can drop the bar and the weights. In the game, the player uses the run buttons to generate power, then uses the action button to move the bar up the body. The final event is the pole vault. In the event, the athlete runs with a long pole. The goal is to plant the pole, then use the pole to launch themselves over a bar high up in the air. The higher they are able to jump, the better. In the game, the speed of the player is controlled by the game. The release of the pole and the body movement is controlled by the action button. Konami released Hypersports to Japanese arcades on May 12, 1984. Konami released the game to arcades around the world in July 1984. That is the short backstory to Hypersports. With that now told, it's time to play the game for ourselves. And here we are in the game. This is Hypersports. As you can see, it's going to look very similar to Track and Field when we get started. Everything is blank so far. I don't actually anticipate being able to change that, though. I am not good at this game. This game is pretty difficult, but you can see they have the weightlifting there. He's doing all right. He's doing way better than I am. I've tried a couple times. As you can see, the first attempt was not very good. The second attempt wasn't very good either. This was released by Konami in 1984. I believe this is the vault. Yes. I don't believe that's how the vault actually looks, but hey, nice job. You were able to do several flips and then land on your feet. That's probably going to be better than me. All right, let's go ahead and put in our quarter and start. All right, this takes a little bit of figuring to to get what you want. So you move with the run buttons and you select it with the action button, and your name will appear on the right side there. It took me a little bit to figure that out. All right, I should be able to qualify through this. All right, we're ready. Breathe! Come on. They'll prompt you when you need to breathe. Nope, I breathed too early, and that was a problem. Then he almost choked. I was anticipating it coming. Hey, you know, I got second. I did qualify. That is a first for me to get second. And then this one. This one is pretty crazy. No, I missed one. All right. I've never done that before. I never made it through before. I'm very happy about that one. I had to really focus on that one. They really come fast at you. Yeah, and now you can see what happens normally when I don't, like, focus as hard. Like, boom, like I lose half of them. It's crazy. This one is difficult, and it takes a lot of practice. I'm not sure how I missed that one, but there's been a few that, like, my timing was just off. All right. Okay, I have not done this one before, so I'm hoping for the best on this. Let's get some speed. I'm not... I thought I hit the button. All right, so we got a foul. All right, let's go again. Okay. And one last time. Go, 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 go. Jump. All right, I got 3. Not good enough. Not good enough. All right, so we're... Yay, I am the greatest medalist, and I just blew my other score out of the water. Let's go ahead and try this again. We're going to do our best here, but I'm not even sure I can make it to the long horse again. Like, that was my first attempt at it altogether. And there's not as much information about this game as there is for track and field. I think, well, we'll talk about that later, but this was not as popular. No, flying when I was asked, that was a lot funnier. Alright, go, 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 go! I swear, they're on different rules than I am. Like, they don't have to, like, breathe at the same time I do. Or something. Oh, just short of first place. Just short. Alright, now this one's still difficult. I have to concentrate so hard on this one. Alright, that 1,000 should put me over. Yep. That 1,000, like, I've missed that every time to this point, and that's what did the trick here. But yeah, I really have to concentrate on this one. But now I can kind of goof off a bit. Just keep talking this whole time. It's hard not to compare this to Duck Hunt, because we kind of just played that, and it's essentially the same thing. I don't know why I keep missing that one. I just don't have the timing right on the left side. But I would say this is, you know, much more intense than Duck Hunt, this particular event. But at the same time, because I don't necessarily have the zapper, well, I shouldn't call it that. I don't have the light gun. Spoilers. and suddenly, yeah, it locks up from time to time. I still got higher because I got the 1,000 though. It's not as fun, but they needed to make it much more intense for that. But can you imagine doing that in real life? That's insane. All right, let's try this again. All right, 2, 3. All right, 8.8 again. I'm not sure what I need to do more on the actual horse itself. All right, and come on, I should get extra points for that. Forget you. What do you guys know about gymnastics? That was a much better. Do I have to hold it? I hit the button. They just didn't seem to count it. All right, I'm pretty sure like I could maybe do a little bit better, but my thumbs are starting to go again. So that might be it. Apparently, ass was the best today. I will not be taking comments at this time. But that is Hypersports Now Played, and with the game now played, let's talk about how it holds up today. Playing the game today, I do have to say that the game is fun, but it is difficult. I would say it's more difficult than track and field. It has a lot of the same issues that track and field had for me, which is that I can't really play it for too long because then my fingers and thumbs start to get sore. But if you are able to overcome that for longer, then you can practice this game for longer. With that said, though, you can only really practice the early events early on, and it's going to take a lot of practice before you can get to long horse and pole vaults and weightlifting and archery and all that other stuff. But I was able to make it to the third event, which is a little less than halfway, showing off all the different skills that the game does have, but just couldn't figure out that long horse. And there's not a lot of information about this game out there, so I couldn't find any information on what I was doing wrong. With that said, I feel that this game has basically aged about the same as track and field. Is it a little bit better or a little bit worse? I would probably lean on a little bit worse. Because it is a little bit more difficult, I would say, and it requires more skill. I would say that this game is for people that have done well at track and field. You can kind of move on to Hypersports, but ultimately I feel that the games are very, very similar. And so if you liked track and field, then you'll probably like Hypersports, but you have to kind of take it with a grain of salt in that you're going to be bad at it when you start because it's whole new events all over again. The graphics aged pretty well. The sound I thought was pretty good. The digitized voice was a little odd, but it actually sounded like a voice. The gameplay, I would say, did not age well. I've never been a fan of the hit alternating buttons in rapid succession control scheme, but I know that some people do like it. It's kind of reminiscent of running, I think is the idea, but it just doesn't appeal to me, and I think that is the part that aged the worst. So I would only recommend it if you are a fan of track and field. If you are not, then this is probably not the game for you. And that's my modern take on the game. When the game was released, the game would have varying popularity depending on the region. While the game was popular in Japan and Europe, the game was not as popular in the United States. It was also not as popular as track and field. Critics, however, did seem to enjoy the game at the time. Hypersports would see ports in the future. We will keep an eye on these as we continue. Konami, with another success on their hands, would continue to create video games. We will hear from Konami again in the future as well. That will do it for the story of Hypersports for now. My name is Baller Scuba. This has been Video Games Over Time. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in our next video when we go one-on-one.